Hey, what's up, YouTube family? It's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, just black people in Nebraska. And today, we're gonna make a lot more of you guys mad in the comment section. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a lot more of you people self combust in the comment section. We're gonna dispel the notion that slavery is a black thing, and it is not a black thing. So let me go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste too much of you guys' time, because I got a lot of information and not that much time to do it in. So let's go ahead and get started. Many people have managed to perpetuate the notion that individuals identified as black are inherently synonymous with slavery. Historically, however, it was the Slavic peoples, referred to as Slavs, who were initially linked to the term slave. The word slave itself is etymologically derived from Slav, reflecting the fact that in earlier centuries, many Slavic individuals were subjected to slavery, particularly during the medieval period. In the context of the educational system, there has been a persistent conflation of the terms slave and black, leading many to associate the concept of slavery exclusively with so-called black people. This association has been deeply ingrained, such that when one thinks of the term slave, the image of a black person often comes to mind. However, historically, the term slave originally referred to the people of Slavic origin. Thus, the term slave and Slav are fundamentally linked, though the modern narrative often obscures this fact. According to author Robert Davis, between 1 million and 1.25 million whites were captured by Barbary pirates and sold as slaves in North Africa and the Ottoman Empire between the 16th and 19th centuries. Approximately 1 million so-called whites were sold as slaves in North Africa. Today, the descendants of these white slaves, octoroons and quadroons in North Africa, claim to be the descendants of the original inhabitants of North Africa. Over 1 million whites were held as slaves from the 1530s through the 1780s in North Africa, and hundreds of thousands were kept as slaves by the Ottomans in Eastern Europe and Asia. In 1650, more whites were enslaved in Africa than Africans enslaved in English colonies. As the pro-slavery ideologue George Fitzhugh noted in his book Cannibals All in 1857, here's a quote: "In the history of the world slavery, Europeans were commonly the ones held as slaves, and the enslavement of Africans was a relatively new historical development. Not until the 18th century did the words slave and African become nearly synonymous in the minds of Europeans." The source for that is George Fitzhugh, Cannibals All, or Slaves Without Masters, 1857. It's important to note, however, that this was a different form of slavery from the transatlantic slave trade, and the two should not be directly equated in the terms of scale or impact. Women captured by Barbary pirates were often subjected to different forms of enslavement compared to men. While men were frequently used as galley slaves, forced to row pirate ships or work in hard labor, women were typically forced into sexual slavery, domestic servitude, and were sold into the harem of wealthy individuals in North Africa or the Ottoman Empire. Many women, particularly young or attractive ones, were sold in slave markets. Many women were taken as concubines for wealthy men, including pirates, local rulers, or high-ranking officials in the Barbary states. Let me clarify, because there seems to be some confusion. The practice of slavery existed long before the term Slav was associated with Slavic people. Societies across the ancient world, including Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome, had systems of slavery, but they used different words to describe enslaved individuals in their respective languages. The term slave specifically became widespread in medieval Europe due to the significant number of Slavic people captured and enslaved during the early Middle Ages, particularly by Islamic caliphates. Before the rise of the term slave, other words were used for enslaved people in different cultures, such as doulos in ancient Greek, or servus in Latin. The term slave, therefore, reflects a particular historical moment, but does not mark the origin of the institution of slavery itself. So I hope you guys enjoy that information. It's very, very interesting. Slavery is a very, very sensitive topic. And a lot of times in this country has shaped our minds and idea of what we feel like or think slavery is. But black people weren't the only slaves, guys. They just weren't. So we have to relearn things all over again because our education system has failed us. It has pushed a narrative that is the opposite of truth. So it's a spell that we have to kind of come out of, and you can do that with independent research and with learning new things. So let me go ahead and get to another slide that I want to show you guys. And these paintings I'm showing you, they're both at the 30-second mark. Another painting is going to show up that describes pretty much the same setting. These are called Moorish baths, and these Moorish baths, the paintings took place, or the paintings were made. They were painted by an artist called Jean-Léon Gérôme in 1870. Now, I do not believe in 1870 this was taking place. What I believe is that this was a nod to the past of when the Moors civilized Europe. And this was a description of those things. So I'm going to put all the information that I just read to you and the sources in the comment section, and it is up to you to believe it or not. I'm presenting the information, and you don't have to believe what I'm presenting. You don't. But just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it didn't take place. All right. So it's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, it's black people in Nebraska. Please like, share, subscribe. OK, as much as you guys dislike the content, or you don't like the content, you're still watching it. So why don't you go ahead and like it since you're watching it and you have so much negative things to say. So like I said, please let me know in the comment section if you like it, you don't like it, don't care for it. It's all good. It's all information, and it's all sourced. I'm not bringing this stuff out of thin air. So it's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, it's black people in Nebraska. I'm out. Peace. God bless you guys. Have a great day.